Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a Voice of Truth podcast. I am your host, Elisa, and there have been some interesting developments. Very interesting developments. On TikTok, I had made a video a few days ago talking about the 3 waves of volunteers and the new earth by Dolores Cannon. And everybody, there were all of my other videos were getting about maybe 300 and less views, and there were people that were responding to it, yes. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there were over 5,000 views and 100 and something comments and 400 and something likes. All of these people were just coming out of the woodwork, and I gotta say, I am very happy about that. I am very happy to see the other waves of volunteers coming forward with their opinions and their comments. And guys, if anybody is interested in this topic, then we should definitely talk about it. I am not a closed-minded individual. I consider myself very open-minded. Unless somebody were to come at me ugly or whatever, no, I don't even fiddle with that. But the thing is that I'm very open-minded to speaking on things like this, and I think it should be talked about. I did have a realization about something. I've been getting clarity after clarity after clarity, and it's not happening all night like it used to. And I ended up finding out why it was happening all night a couple of times there, because it was the only way to get my attention. So I had to learn how to adjust my attention to spirit and to my higher self in order to hear what messages I needed to hear or to talk about, or whatever the case might be. So I would like to discuss what happened in a dream that I had the other day. So before I made that video, and it was about the 3 waves of volunteers and the new earth. Before I made that video, I had been looking into it, and it's still a new topic for me. So I'm still learning about the situation, and I would like to hear about your opinions and your comments on it in the comments section. If you have any at all, if you're aware of it, drop me a line, because I do think that we as 3 waves of volunteers need to come together. And one of the realizations that I had in this particular dream of mine was I was at an altar, just like I had been seeing myself in the magician's outfit. Like in the classic tarot, you have the magician card. So I saw myself in that outfit again, waiting for the wands to descend, right? And there had been a dream before this, some time back, that a couple of them had actually descended. Well, this time I look up and I see the wands just right there. And I thought, you know what? I wonder what would happen if I just grab them. If I just grab one, just one, I wonder what would happen. So I did. In the dream, I said, you know what? And I grabbed one and I pulled it down because it was right there anyway. And I said, I'm not waiting. I'm going to take this. And I grabbed one. I don't know yet. I didn't know what to expect. So I grabbed one and I wake up. So I make that video about the 3 waves of volunteers and the new earth, wanting to know what resonated with my followers and whoever else is seeing my videos and such like that. Now, this was all on TikTok. And all of a sudden, and I was telling them, I said, look, this is still a new topic for me. This is still new territory for me. but I resonate mostly with the second wave. And I had also mentioned that I didn't really resonate with the third wave, but I resonated with second wave. And the second wave of volunteers were essentially meant to be seen. And the second wave of volunteers, we are also the energetic transmitters, we're the generators. We are just to simply be. And we uplift the frequency of the world, we uplift the frequency of other folks, the vibrations and such. And I just find it incredible. I find all this information incredible because throughout my life, I had gotten the same type of message that I was meant to be seen. I was meant to be seen throughout the years. Even when I was a teenager and my dad was an evangelist, I was told by him in the times that I would go up for prayer that I was meant to be seen. I was meant to be a voice of truth and a beacon of light. And I'm thinking, what the like, what the hell does that mean? And so me and my 13-year-old mind thought it was a literal ordeal, and that I thought, oh, okay, it's going to be this way, that way, and whatever. Over the years, I've gone through many trials and tribulations. I've gone through many, many things in life, many frustrating events and health issues, and all of these things transpired. And it brought me to this point. I had to come to this point, and I had to come to an understanding that, okay, it is not what it looks like. When I began doing the inner work, I had to realize, wow, the world is really not what I thought it was. There was this new song I stumbled across. Somebody put it together, and I gotta say, I really enjoy it. And they had said that it was based off of, interestingly enough, Doctor Strange and the way that, the movie goes. But the song was called Open Your Eye. And I cannot remember the name of the creator, but they did a bang of a hell. I mean, they really did a hell of a job. I mean, I love how they came across the song, how they put it all together. I mean, it just, it's fire. Honestly, it's fire. And maybe if they put it on YouTube, I'm going to look for it later. I don't remember who it was that did it, but if I find it, I'm going to put it in the link or the description box or something. That way y'all can see it. I mean, it's a hell of a song. But anyway, I loved it. I saw it and I absolutely loved it. And I had to, over time, I had to come to the realization that religion is what it is. But at the same time, it's not what it seems by any stretch of the imagination. We are taught to see the world around us as being the answer, but the world around us is not the answer. It's the world that's inside of us, the universe that's inside of us. Because inside of us, we do have a universe. As above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. It is not just a popular saying amongst the spiritual community. It's an actual fucking fact. And if I find that song, I am going to put it in the description box, I swear, because seriously, it's fire. What was I going to say? With this dream, I just see these wands suspended there. I grab it and I'm like, you know what? That's enough. I had to realize, and I realized it after some time, that it is not about getting permission. When, as I have stated before, when you graduate from a particular level in your life, is no longer about asking permission, because religion says and encourages for you to ask for permission before you move. Here's the thing, and I'm still, as I've said before, I'm still deconstructing from the whole religion aspect. I had to come to this realization. Those wands were suspended over my head. Those 8 of wands. In the tarot community, we all know what that is. In the 8 of wands, those wands had been suspended above my head. 2 of them had come down in one of the dreams, but the others were still there. They were just suspended there. And I grab it, and I'm like, I'm not waiting anymore. And I had to realize, when you get to a certain level in life, it's not about asking for permission. You have to realize that it's no longer waiting for the outside to come in as a manifestation. Does that make sense? Let's put it this way. In religion teaches you to look at the world around you and to only focus on the world around you, to only focus on the God outside of you. Here's the thing. There is no God outside of us. God is inside of us. We are all God's consciousness, source's consciousness, however you want to put it, is the same damn thing. And so therefore, when you bypass a specific level in life, when you have gone through those trials and tribulations and you have mastered the 3D, it is now time to function in a different dimension. And that takes some time. That takes time to recalibrate yourself. That takes time to relearn what you were taught, because your whole life, and having to master the 3D, you have to, really watch the outside world. I mean, that's a 3D. The 3D is the outside world, right? You have to pay attention to that. And then when you graduate from that, it is no longer that anymore. It is no longer that level anymore. You have to recalibrate and relearn and realize it is not about the outside world necessarily. It's not about waiting for permission anymore. It is not about waiting for permission to move, to make a decision, to do any of that. Since we are our gods, Source's consciousness, source, responds to those with self-confidence. It responds to self-confidence. I had to realize this. I'm like, oh my God, it's not about waiting for permission. I don't need to wait for permission. When I am ready, I will grab it and I'm going to run with it. I had to understand that. I'm like, holy shit. And it was crazy. After I made that video, I swear those views shot out through the roof. I mean, it went past the roof. Comment after comment after comment after comment. The first wave here. Oh, second wave. Oh, I resonate with second and third wave. Oh, I resonate with third wave. This, that, and the other. I'm like, whoa. Before I knew it, I had over 100 comments. I had over 400 likes. And I had over 5,000 views. While everything else was just, a couple here and there. And that's fine. But at the same time, I started talking about Dolores Cannon. And look, Dolores Cannon is the OG of spirituality, as one of my friends on TikTok had put it. She is the OG of spirituality. And I can absolutely 100% respect that. There were, however, some comments, and I think some of them, well, I know I deleted some of them because I just thought it was bizarre, but I could also tell by some of these commenters that they were in a specific level that they hadn't quite surpassed yet. And that's up to them. It's not up to me. I am not going to judge. Judging others, that is not up to me. But I wish them well. I did have to delete some of those comments because I thought it was a little peculiar and I didn't quite understand what they were talking about. I didn't quite understand what that had, how any of it was relevant. So I went ahead and just took it off. But however, the rest of them, and that was only a handful of comments throughout this entire time that all my that my shit was exploding. And I'm thinking, wow, 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 wow. It's just crazy to me. When you master the 3D, you understand one thing, that you got to wait for the outside world. And this, I mean, you understand that the outside world does have some um it's got an aspect in your life, right? But here's the thing though, is when you get past that, you don't have to wait for permission anymore. You don't have to wait for things to move. You just don't. It's no longer about waiting for other people to move for you. It's no longer about waiting for the universe to give you the okay. And it was crazy because I had this conversation with my guides and whatever. I had this conversation about it. And I remember feeling frustrated. And this was within the last week. I had said, okay, look, I'm incredibly grateful for all of you and your assistance and all of the things that y'all have kept me safe from and whatever, right? But here's the thing. You say I am meant to be seen. You say I'm meant for more. And I try to get a job in the outside world, in the 3D, but you stop every single opportunity that I might end up with. You get in the way. You cut me off. And you're just like, you're meant for better. You're meant for better. And I'm thinking, how am I meant for better when my videos are only getting 300 and less views? And this is on TikTok. So, on here it's going to take it might take some time. It might not. But I do fully believe that it's going to happen. It's just going to all of a sudden explode just like on TikTok. And I understand some videos are going to get views, others are not going to get really any. It is what it is, right? So I've long accepted that. Going into this, I accepted that. Going into this, I lacked self-confidence to a degree, in the sense that I was worried about how I was going to come off and whatever. And I'm thinking, you know what? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we are all going to have our opinions. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can't make everybody happy. You can only be your most authentic self unapologetically. And I push that, and I'm going to encourage that to my dying day. That as long as you are your most authentic self unapologetically, to hell with everybody else. Because no matter what, there's always going to be somebody that has something to say about it. Is it up to them? No. Did they support you when you were down? No. They were probably the type that were kicking you while you were down and still trying to take money from you. So does it really matter? Not at all. I'm okay with it. And I had told my guides that. I said, people are going to be the way that they are. It is what it is, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It even said, uh, Tobey Maguire even said it on the third Spider-Man. He tells MJ, because MJ's upset about I guess a review from a critic saying that she's a pretty girl, and but her voice didn't carry very well or something like that. Like you could barely hear her. And the critic could have said something really bad, but he didn't. And we all know how some critics can be. Like, wow, they could be cutthroat. But here's the thing is that this critic, what he had said was not bad. You know, it was just constructive criticism. And she was upset about it, and he told her, he said, look, this is a part of the gig. You're just gonna have to get used to it. I did. And she got upset, and I remember being in that mentality. And my husband can even vouch on this, that anytime that he would tell me something similar to what Peter had told her, I would get upset like she did. You know, it's like, oh, it's not about you. You just feel bad for me right now. You know, I remember feeling that way. I remember being that way. But it's all a part of the learning experience, the human experience. We're all here learning the human experience. But at the same time, we have very important jobs to do. Dolores Cannon talks about it in the third wave of volunteers and the new earth. And I really enjoy how she explained it. She talked about the first wave being the pioneers, the trendsetter, the one that blazes the trails. They have it the hardest because it's a lot more pressure, I would imagine. I'm saying that part, that I would imagine it's a lot more pressure, a lot more criticism, a lot more like you're weird type of ordeal. They're the first liners. They're the ones that are going to face a lot more scrutiny, and it's going to be a lot harder. And I have, you know, a lot of compassion for that. I have a lot of respect when it comes to that. I do respect that a great deal. You know, I find them hardcore, honestly. She also did say that a lot of them had the tendency to be a lot more miserable because of that fact. Again, compassion for them and mad respect. It is what it is. Somebody had to be the trailblazer, is the way I see it. And the second wave was all about essentially being, just being. You can walk into a crowded mall and not realizing that you are changing the energy when you walk into a place, when you walk into a crowded mall or a store or any place that is public. We are meant to be seen. We are meant to be experienced. But the funny thing is that a lot of us go out into hiding because we don't want to be experienced. It's heavy. It's hard. It's very, very hard to do. Even though that's all we're meant for, in a sense, it's still incredibly difficult. We don't mind being the outside looking in, but being in it is a whole different ballpark. You get people who want to touch you. For whatever reason, they want to touch you. They want to touch your clothes. They want to touch your hair. It's really bizarre. It's really bizarre. But I do believe a lot of us have, if you resonate with star quality, I believe that's what we have. If you resonate, if you resonate with the second wave, I do believe that we have star quality, if you will. I do believe that's kind of the point. I am not really surprised anymore now that I have these answers, now that I resonate with something. I am not surprised why a lot of tarot readers have been saying the same thing in collective readings. You are meant to shine. You are meant to be seen. You are meant to be experienced. You are meant to be this. You are star quality. If you watch all of these TikTok creators, and yes, I'm sure some of them are just stealing information. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them I'm sure are just, piggybacking off of other people's idea. The information is the same regardless. We are meant to be experienced. We are meant to be seen. This is what we are meant for. We are star quality. And it makes a lot more sense. Third wave. They're the ones that bring on the new earth. They're the ones that do the job. I guess essentially all of us as a collective are doing it. But the third waivers are very, very intelligent. They come with the DNA already, I guess, there. It's already existent. They already come with the DNA. Us, the second and first wave, we have to adjust, right? But the third waivers are born with the DNA already inside. They're the ones that are going to bring upon the new earth. Some people have mentioned in my TikTok comments that something about how we can resonate with all three waves. I need to meditate on this. I need to really put in some understanding behind this. I'm not really grasping that quite yet, but it is a very intriguing idea. I am a very open-minded person. If somebody has, like a comment or something that they want to share with what they resonate with what they believe when it comes to the three waves, put it in the comment section. The worst I'm ever going to do is just ignore it. If I don't see it, then I'm not ignoring it. But if it's I discern. Okay, I use my discernment on who to comment to, and I don't come for people. I'm just not into that. I don't come for people. If I don't have anything good to say, I don't say anything at all. Okay, it's a golden rule that has been lost over the years, and I really wish it would come back. That it's, if you don't have anything good to say, just go about your day. Who cares? It is what it is. People are gonna have their own thing to say anyway. It doesn't matter. It's not about what people have to say about you. I mean, you're gonna have critics like that. If you think about it, a lot of us come from dysfunctional families. Just so happens I have a parental figure who's a raging alcoholic. It is what it is. But it's weird that in the beginning of doing this podcast, I was very, what do you call it? Kind of shy, I guess you could say. I was very shy. I have wounds in that department about being seen and about being criticized. This was in the beginning. Now I just don't care. I don't give a shit, to be honest with you. It is what it is. I understand that aspect. Just like on Spider-Man 3. You just have to get used to it. You have to get over it. It's just something you have to get used to. You have to deal with. When you have masses of people, you're going to have masses of comments and opinions. And that's just the way it is. We're here to do a job. It's to uplift, to generate and uplift the energy and frequency. I'm talking about to my second wavers, the ones that resonate with second wave. That's what we're here to do. We are meant to be seen, even though we don't really care for crowds. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's heavy. It's a lot. We can't even so much as scratch our own ass in public without somebody seeing it, right? And that could really go for anybody, but I'm just saying that, God forbid, we have to scratch our ass and we can't do it because everybody's looking at us. I get it. It's it's a lot. It's a lot, especially when you have people that don't know how to keep their hands to themselves. It's a lot, and it's frustrating. I get it. I get tired going to the grocery store out here because there's so much energy around. It just, in some way, when we leave kind of pissed off now, don't we? Because you have one person that just wants to jump out in front of you, that just wants to get in your way. I'm not even talking about traffic, you guys. I'm talking about just in person. They don't acknowledge your presence, and when they turn around, they see your presence, they just keep walking. It's like, what is your fucking problem? I get it. I get it. This is why I resonate with second wave. I get it. It's I can walk in a really good mood, shining bright, and then I can walk out sometimes very pissed off. I could feel people and their sneaky energy. There was a time, I'm going to give you an example about sneaky energy. Guys, the way I feel energy is heavy now. I'm sure my second wavers can resonate with that. It's very heavy, especially when somebody is lying to you. It's heavy. You don't just read people's body language. You don't just read their facial expressions, their micro expressions. It's not just that. It's feeling their energy, and it's almost like a brick wall. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it feels like a brick wall. And I'm like, oh my God. And it's almost like a bitter taste. It's not an actual taste, but it's the way the energy hits. It's weird. It's a bitter taste. It almost feels like knives are coming at me, and I cannot stand it. There was a situation one day, and I was not in the mood. I was in a very feisty mood this one day. I was in a pissy mood. I'm not gonna lie. Me and my husband were getting out of the car, and we're about to go into the store. And this is what happens. There's a guy that's walking through the parking lot trying to sell something. I don't even know what he's trying to sell, but it was a bunch of shit, because when he came and he was walking toward my husband, because my husband was a little further along than I was. And I was kind of far back cuz it was getting hot. All right, it was toward the end of June. It was starting to get pretty hot. And so I'm walking along. I see this guy coming, and I start walking faster toward him. And so he's over there like, "Hey, can I talk to y'all?" and all this other stuff. And I could just feel these knives. I feel this bitter, I don't know what it is. Like, it was so thick. This energy was like a brick fucking wall. So fucking thick. I can't even kid. I'm not even fucking with you. It was so thick and so bitter that I was disgusted, to be quite frank with you. And I had to tell him, because people like this, I could tell the way that he was. Him specifically, not people like this, but him specifically. I knew that I was going to have to be firm with my answer. And I wasn't intentionally trying to be rude, but I found his presence offensive. And I told him, I said, "No, sir. Thank you." Like that. Again, I wasn't trying to be rude, but I was not going to put up with any bullshit today. On that particular day, I was not in it. I was not in it. I was not in to be fucked with, period. I was just in one of those moods, and I just told him, I was like, "No, sir. Thank you." And he was talking something about, I don't know, Guatemala or something like that. I'm not really sure what he was talking about, but what he was saying did not resonate. I didn't feel any sort of I didn't feel like I was drawn in any way, form, or fashion to give, because I had this sense that he was lying, and not to mention that he was panhandling. I could just tell that this guy was not no HEB worker. He was a panhandler. And I was like, no. See, if he came to me and he was honest with me and I could feel that energy of honesty, then I might have been willing to give him a little something. But I didn't trust this guy. I don't trust liars. I don't trust panhandlers, because if they're lying, if panhandlers are lying to me, I will not give them anything. I just won't. I just won't. I'm a very compassionate individual, but I use my discernment before I respond to anybody, before I ever give my opinion, before I ever give anything of myself to anybody. Because these days we got to tread a little carefully, in a sense of being aware of our surroundings. Yes, that does come into play. We do need to be around excuse me, we do need to be aware of our surroundings to a degree. We have to watch for whatever is going on around us, because if our environment is not right and if it's making us sick, we should probably leave. We should probably leave. And I'm going to be very honest about something. Me and my husband, we went out. He wanted to go out and get a drink and whatever. And me, I don't drink. So I just stick with, I don't know, lemonade or something like that. Although my sugar intake has decreased quite a bit, this is not a very frequent ordeal. So I let myself have, something a little carby once in a while. And he wanted to have an alcoholic beverage, and I'm like, hey, whatever, he wanted to get a beer. I said, yeah, that's fine. So we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and I remembered very specifically when I saw this happen in front of me. We were sitting in the bar section, and this was late. We were sitting in the bar section. I believe it was on a Saturday. Not a whole lot of people were there. I'm sure the crowd had just left. So there was, if you're talking couples, there was probably a handful of couples there. I mean, just to give you an idea of how many people were there. And then the staff, right? And there was this one older gentleman walking around the bar, and he was trying to be friendly. To be honest with you, even during the days that I drank, because I don't drink anymore, it doesn't make me feel good. I got to a point in my spiritual awakening that I don't resonate with alcohol at all. And I'm not criticizing anybody that is spiritually awakened. I'm not trying to criticize any of y'all. If y'all still drink once in a blue moon, hey, whatever. It's none of my damn business. It's none of my damn business what you do. That's entirely up to you. But for me, I can't do it. I can't do it. Ugh. So I see this guy, and he just, even when I was drinking, I did not really like people like this. My problem, and I don't know if he had a relationship with either of these women at the bar. One woman, I can tell that he did not have any sort of relationship at all with her. I think she was with her boyfriend or husband or whoever, but I was watching this guy. He might have thought that he was being funny and the life of the party. He was a complete ass. He was loud and obnoxious. Even in the times that I was drinking, I found people like this to be that way. Obnoxious, irritating, like just stay away from me. I didn't want people like that around me, even when I was drinking. And if they ever did put their hands on me in any stretch of the imagination, I resented it. I resented it when I was under the influence, and I resented it even more when I began to sober up. Ladies, don't let people put their hands on you. I'm not saying get into fights. I'm not saying start a fight. I'm not saying to get into a drunk fight even. But put a boundary up and smack their hand away or something and say, "Please keep your hands off of me." And if they're not doing it, you need to tell the bartender that they're putting their hands all over you. If you don't stick up for yourself, they're just going to keep doing it. And this guy was doing it to this one younger woman. And I'm going to be honest with you, I felt bad for her. And I could tell that she resented him doing something. He either said something to her or he was doing something, but I did see him put his hands on her. And I didn't like it. And he wasn't aggressive, but he was annoying. And he pissed me off. He didn't put his hands on me because I mean, he looked at me and he realized like right away that there was a boundary there and he was not going to come near me. He was just not going to come near me. My husband was drinking, but he was not going to come near me. And I had a serious look on my face when I saw him. I didn't have this mean mug on me, but I was just looking at him like, like don't come anywhere near me. But don't let people do that to you. Just don't do it. I didn't like it when I was drinking, and I like it even less now that I'm spiritually awakened, and I just I don't approve of it. I don't think it's okay. If you're into that, whatever, but have respect for yourself. Have respect for yourself. Stick up for yourself. And if you didn't do it this time, don't let it bother you, because it's a learning experience and you will see it next time. You will catch it next time. Say something. Tell them, keep your damn hands to yourself. Don't touch me. And if they're not listening, tell the bartender. It's their job to deal with them. So that's all I got to say, really. Let me know in the comments what you resonate with. First wave, second wave, or third wave of volunteers. And if y'all have any questions about that, let's talk. We can talk. We can learn about it together. I'm not against open-minded people or anything like that. I consider myself very open-minded as well. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to cut it short. I think my husband's supposed to come home soon, so I may not make any more videos for the rest of the week. I tried to make one a few days ago, but I had indigestion or something. My stomach was killing me. Just all of a sudden, it just started killing me, so I had to scrap that project, and I just knew I was going to come back at some point this week, but yeah, I don't think I'll be making any more videos for the rest of this week, but I will come back next week and I will be making a couple of them every week as long as I can. Unless I'm sick or something, then oh well. But if you have any comments or any ideas or any topics or any questions, just drop it in the comment section. I'm an open-minded person, and I wish everybody well. Please stay safe out there tonight and enjoy y'all's weekend.